Hello, everybody, and welcome to our little tiny Twin Peaks party on the 20th anniversary of Twin Peaks. A lot of fun. I'm excited. I haven't done a Twin Peaks stream in a little bit. Honestly, I have no idea what we're going to discuss, but I thought I'd get on because everybody wants to celebrate Twin Peaks and 28 years of it. It's a year older than I am. Which it's super weird to think that one of my favorite shows ever came out only a few months, or almost a complete year actually, before I was birthed into this world. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your continued support through the lulls and the highs of this channel. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the best. So this is concurrently running on Twitch and YouTube, trying to combine these families so we could be a big happy community and discuss all the things that we love. What's up, Jason? Nice seeing you here. I hope you got. I'm not really wearing the right attire. I'm wearing my Pinky and the Brain shirt because it's new and I wanted to wear it. But that will not dampen our Twin Peaks fun. What's up, Anna? Nice to see you. I hope you don't need the sleep, because we might be on for a little bit, and I'm sure you do. Thank you guys for joining. There's no topic of discussion today. We could touch on a whole bunch of things, but I just wanted to come in and celebrate with everybody, because it's been a while and there's no real Twin Peaks happenings going on. And it looks like the chat box thing is not working, unfortunately. Maybe I have to do this. There we go. That's better. I'm a big baby and I need my sleep. But I barely do sleep as it is. So, what's up, Katrina? Nice seeing everybody. It's been a while. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Bring that chat up a little bit. All right, I'm using this new thing to stream with, so bear with me. Still trying to work out a little bit of the technical stuff, because I'm doing more video game kind of streams too, and on Twitch, and I'm trying to do the whole streamer thing. But thank you guys for joining. I know this is sort of unprompted, and I thought I'd just get on and talk to everybody, and whoever watches this after the fact will be able to join in on the fun in the comments below the video. But hey guys, how's it going? I thought maybe if I could find a good trivia game, we could play some trivia. Not that any of us in this chat, or including myself, I don't think really there's what don't we know at this point. What is going to be a surprise to us? And Twitch is basically it's another streaming kind of website, but it's mostly focused on video games. But you could do sort of talk show kind of streams there too. It's pretty popular. I would say it's more used for video games than just sort of talk show kind of things, but that's been crossing over more there as well. So before the stream started, I looked for some good trivia games that we could play, but they're all by websites that aren't aren't that hardcore into Twin Peaks. So I really wanted to find something that we could all really wrap our brains around. They're doing actually in Brooklyn today. They were doing a Twin Peaks trivia night at this place called Videology Bar and Cinema, where they play a lot of Twin Peaks stuff there. But they're doing a trivia tonight, and it sucks because I don't have any hardcore Twin Peaks fans that live close to me, because I would have loved to go and been hung out with all these Twin Peaks people. But going by myself without sort of a team was going to be not the best. So maybe next year, if I could get sort of people, maybe if they do it next year, I could go next year. In 2 years, it's going to be the 30th anniversary of freaking Twin Peaks. So that'll be the time to party. Who knows what we'll have in the Twin Peaks universe by then? Hopefully a new season or something. I know Cameron's movie is going to come hopefully by the end of this year. So that's that. But something in the sort of the canon universe would be really cool to have by the 30th anniversary. Maybe they're waiting 2 years to do it on the 30th. Who knows? I found... Okay, so I'm going to just start off with this Mental Floss article, because sometimes Mental Floss has actually pretty interesting sort of facts. Sometimes they do their research and digging, and they find stuff that maybe the hardcore fans like us wouldn't know. Like this, I didn't know this. One of the trivia points they bring up is the one-armed man is a fugitive homage to the movie The Fugitive. Another actor who was only meant to appear in the pilot, the one-armed man, Mike, was only required to walk out of an elevator in the original script. All Lynch and Frost wanted was a quick, intriguing fugitive homage, but Lynch was also a fan of Al Strobel, so he wrote him into the series' larger mythology. I didn't know that. I'm sure some of you did, but I didn't know that there was supposed to be a fugitive homage. This one is one that a lot of people know, but not everybody does, I guess. That Isabella Rossellini almost played Josie. So that's cool. Here's what they say. Lynch's Blue Velvet leading lady and then girlfriend, Isabella Rossellini, was the first choice for wealthy widow Josie Packard. But according to Rossellini, there was a little bit of concern about the time commitment, and she and Lynch broke up in 91. Instead, the part went to Joan Chen, and Josie was rewritten to fit Chen's Chinese background. So just imagine a world where Josie was played by Isabella. I feel like there would be some hardcore Blue Velvet integration into that original series, and who knows I mean, just because of the Blue Velvet correlation, I wonder how massive the change was with Joan Chen's Josie and what would have been Isabella's Josie. I'm really curious to see what that version of Twin Peaks would have looked like because of Blue Velvet. If they would have had Kyle kind of lean more towards Isabella's Josie. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. And it says, I don't think I'd actually like that, although I'm not a Josie fan. I hear you there. I think Isabella, I mean, it's unfortunate that her and David broke up. Basically around season 2, I guess, or a little bit before. I'm not totally sure. But I think she would have been interesting as maybe another character. And I'm sure if they hadn't broken up, she would have come onto the show at some point. But to my understanding, they're still friends. I mean, I wasn't able to get Festival of Disruption tickets because it's going to happen in Brooklyn next month. But it's literally happening the weekend I come back from visiting Danielle in Utah. So, it'll be way too much of a crunch, and the tickets for that are not too cheap, if you know what I mean. Katrina says, the one I knew, Isabella Rossellini, that would have been a very different story, the whole Eckhart thing. Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's just a whole sort of background plot story involving sort of the Chinese mafia. So there's a lot that would have been removed and or a lot that wouldn't have been in there, especially with the sort of the international stuff involving China. What's up, Wilton? Thanks. Target. I don't know if you guys have Target overseas. Let's see. I actually like this Mental Floss article because it is like sort of, it's some stuff that we actually know, but there's some stuff that is just a little more specific than most of the other websites. This one is obvious. Dale Cooper, sort of named after D.B. Cooper. Piper Laurie masqueraded as a Japanese actor on set. We know this. Lara Flynn Boyle put an end to Dale and Audrey's romance. We also know this. Steven Spielberg. This is one I really loved and I really wish had happened. And I know Steven Spielberg actually discussed this recently, or saw an article about this recently. Steven Spielberg nearly directed the season 2 premiere. This is from the same mentalfloss.com article. It says in an interview with Brad D Studios, Twin Peaks writer-producer Harley Payton said that Steven Spielberg was on board to helm the show's season 2 opener. Spielberg was apparently an avid viewer of the first season and mentioned that to Payton that he'd be interested in directing an episode. Payton and Frost then held a lengthy meeting with Spielberg to discuss the possibility of him tackling the season 2 premiere. Spielberg wanted to make it as weird as possible, but that wasn't good enough for Lynch, who insisted on handling the episode himself. He suggested Spielberg take a later episode, but it didn't pan out. What do you guys think of this? Because I know people have, not everybody's so crazy about Steven Spielberg. Especially in the Twin Peaks fan world, I find a lot of weird sort of tension that I did not expect. But I myself am a Spielberg fan, but that's because I sort of watched his films early on, and it kind of got me into filmmaking and writing too. So I'm curious what you guys think about maybe what if Steven Spielberg did direct maybe the season 2 premiere? So it's right after Cooper got shot by Josie, or if he would have directed a later episode. I wonder if it would have, stood out from the rest, or if it would have just sort of, especially, how season 2 gets sort of weird towards the middle, if it would have just sort of melded through and became sort of unnoticeable in the grand scheme of season 2. That's something I thought about. Because there's a part of season 2 where everything kind of runs together, and I honestly couldn't distinguish one episode from another. Besides some small things, but I wonder if we had a Steven Spielberg episode halfway through season 2, if it would have broken it up a lot more. Katrina says there's Spielberg weird and then there's Lynch weird. Yeah, Spielberg weird is more like something shaking in the corner in the cupboard, or there's a weird light and there's a lot of haze coming through a window, and it's very it's atmospheric, but not in the same way David Lynch is atmospheric. With Spielberg's atmosphere, it's like he adds more stuff, but with Lynch he takes more out. I think that's just sort of my idea. I don't know if you guys agree. With Lynch, I think less is more with his sort of atmospheric weirdness approach, as we see in most of his movies, Eraserhead and Twin Peaks. Some very eerie music, and sort of, at least when we're in the Red Room, the footsteps echo a lot, and it's just that creates its own kind of atmosphere. Just a lot of subtle things, whereas Steven Spielberg is a little bit more obvious, I guess. I don't know if these ideas are coming out right, but that's kind of the way I see it. All right, Lynch and Frost were forced to reveal Laura Palmer's killer. We know that. Audrey Horne informed Mulholland Drive. There was once talk of spinning Audrey Horne off into her own movie or series, and the premise should sound familiar to any Lynch fanatic. According to Fenn, the new project was supposed to follow an older Audrey in California and involved an opening scene of her driving along Mulholland Drive. Interesting. I didn't know about that. I would love to see an Audrey spinoff. Maybe that's what the whole Charlie thing was. Wilton says Spielberg's a very competent director, albeit having a completely different approach to storytelling. I would be curious to see what one Twin Peaks episode would be in his hands, but I wouldn't hold my breath. apparently, I mean, it didn't. I guess it didn't get far enough at all. But if they did decide to do another season of Twin Peaks and kind of go about making it the way they made the original series, where sort of like different directors and writers putting their hands into the pot, I would love to see Spielberg return to do an episode. I really want to see that format again. I really do. Although I like season 3. I love season 3, but I did like sort of the serial format of the first 2 seasons, and it felt, I'm sure a lot of you agree that it felt more intimate. And though I do love the Lynch Frost team up, I do like seeing other people put their hands in the Twin Peaks pot, at least directing and writing wise. As long as Lynch and Mark have sort of, control over the whole narrative of the season, I like to see people take on certain episodes. So it would have been cool to see a Spielberg episode. I mean, he's still around, so if they do another season, he could do another season. That's actually kind of what I wanted to bring up. If you guys could have like sort of your fantasy people writing or directing an episode of Twin Peaks, who would they be? I would love to see Spielberg do one. I really would like to see Denis Villeneuve, who did Arrival, and who did the new Blade Runner, and who did Sicario. I would love to see him direct an episode of Twin Peaks, because he's someone that's becoming one of my favorite new directors. I just love the way he does atmosphere as well. So I'd really like to see him direct an episode of Twin Peaks, especially sort of season 3 or like season 3 kind of format Twin Peaks. Wilton agrees. Yeah, I love the way he does atmosphere. It reminds me of Lynch, but it's kind of it's Ridley Scott kind of mixed with Lynch. It's really cool. That's how I'd put it. And he has his own kind of. I don't want to totally say his influence is totally removed from it, but yeah, Villeneuve, for sure. And it says the Audrey Mulholland Drive has been a rumor for ages, but doesn't know how true it is. Apparently, originally it was a film about her after surviving the bank explosion, but I think it ended. In the end, it evolved past that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so much. I feel like there's not enough. People didn't take in enough of Lynch's history. Like, there's not enough. I don't know. There's not enough talk or like sort of hard copies of any things that have happened since Lynch was coming up. I mean, I know he hasn't done much in the past decade or almost 2. So, all this took place in the 90s and in the 80s, and when, computers weren't as big a thing. But I feel like if he was doing a lot of stuff now, there would be a lot more interviews and, a lot more online interviews, which would be cool just to have that in the bucket for Lynch. And there's a lot of that stuff from the 90s, but it's just not in the same quantity as somebody who is making a film or show now has. I mean, it might be overload, some would say, but it would be cool to have sort of insight into what Lynch was doing more than we already do in the 90s. Milton says, I would like to see a Twin Peaks episode in the hands of Quentin Dupieux and Nicholas Winding. I actually don't know who they are. Quentin, let's see. Do a quick little Google search. Excuse my ignorance on these people. Oh, the dude that did Rubber. Okay, that'd be interesting. I never finished that movie actually. Let's see, Nicholas. Oh, he did Neon Demon. Okay, I could see that. And Drive. All right. Yeah, I haven't seen Drive yet. Believe it or not, I have not seen Drive yet. But I did see Neon Demon, and he's also very good at, sort of atmospheric kind of horror. So, it'd be cool to get sort of all these new age sort of horror, surrealist kind of directors and writers in there. And get some people that are doing sort of primetime TV too. I feel like there's a lot of good narrative-driven shows on TV right now. There's a lot of quality stuff, but there's too much. So kind of everything's oversaturated, and it was sort of nice if you want to romanticize the 90s a bit, because things were picked meticulously to be on television. Less opportunity. There's way more opportunity now to get your thing made, but you really have to do something creative and interesting to stand out. Watch Wrong? I will. I'm assembling my summer movie playlist. So if you guys have any recommendations, please hit me up on social media at Joey Pedras. I'm on Twitter mostly, but if you want to do the Instagram thing, I'm on there a lot too. You can follow me there, and I'll probably follow back because I like to see what everybody's up to. Mikhail Gorbachev was allegedly a superfan. When Reflections of an Oral History of Twin Peaks was published in 2014, Twitter latched especially hard onto an anecdote from TV exec Jules Hamovitz. Hamovitz worked for Aaron Spelling Productions, which produced Twin Peaks. One day he got a call from Spelling demanding to know who killed Laura Palmer, but it wasn't really Spelling who was asking. He'd gotten a call from a financier, Carl Linder, who claimed to be calling on behalf of then-President George H.W. Bush, who was actually asking from Gorbachev. The former leader of the USSR was apparently a huge fan of the show, but when he was pressed later, Gorbachev claimed he had no idea what Twin Peaks was, which all sounds appropriately Lynchian. That's interesting. David Cronenberg. That would be interesting. Especially if they start showing off new sort of entities, like with Judy. But I think there's so many more creatures in the Twin Peaks universe that we haven't seen yet. So I would love a Cronenberg creature or a Cronenberg event to take place in a future Twin Peaks episode or movie. One says another director I think would fit Twin Peaks very well is Leos Carax from Holy Motors and Lovers on the Bridge. I feel like there's a wealth of good directors that could take on Twin Peaks. So I know there's Lynch purists, but Lynch didn't direct all the episodes of Twin Peaks originally. He did the new season, which some might say why it was hit or miss, because it was just, I feel like with a big project like that, you need a lot more hands in that pot to make, to cut it down and make it a little bit neater. Of course, that's not Lynch's style. And I think since Dune, it's all about him having that final cut. Because he says that's his biggest regret when it came to Dune, which he thinks is why it's a failure, is because he didn't have final cut on Dune. Which, speaking of Dune, Denis Villeneuve, who did Arrival and Blade Runner, is directing the new Dune. It's going to be a two-parter. So that's going to be a good contrast of what he does with Dune versus what Lynch did with Dune. Again, also it's like almost 30 years of contrast, more than 30 years of technological advancements and changes in sort of movie making styles. So it's going to be interesting what Denis does with the new Dune. I'm actually curious because I never really hear a lot of Lynch fans talk about Dune. I remember watching it for the first time when I was super young, but I want to know what you guys think of Dune, because I feel like I never get a word on Dune. It's sort of the movie that nobody talks about. But Duncan Jones, David Bowie's son, that would be cool. That would be cool to get somebody related Bowie's son in there, working in one way or another. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about Dune. I that's one I also don't own. Richard Kelly. That's fine. Bolton says, I don't get why Dune is so panned out. I also like it. I don't think it's as bad as everybody makes it out to be. I mean, I sort of I think because I know that Lynch didn't have final cut, I feel weird about it because it feels like it's not purely a Lynch, sort of thing. He didn't have final cut on it, but it wasn't a bad film. Kyle did a fantastic job, but when doesn't he? Katrina, you have to watch Doom. Let us know what you think. Anna says the effects make me giggle. Yeah, different time. A lot of compositing. A whole lot of compositing. I would like to see Dune. Actually, maybe not. I was going to say I'd like to see Dune remastered in 4K, but that might not be pretty. You might be able to notice a lot of the compositing. I watched the original Blade Runner in 4K the other day, and there's some things that you definitely don't need. I mean, it was beautiful in 4K, but you notice so much more of the compositing they did, which is basic. If you guys don't know, it's basically when they layer on different things to basically cause an effect, like the flames that come out of all the buildings in the beginning of Dune. You could see that it's sort of a composite. It's not as clean as it would be today. It's just super interesting. I mean, the way they did effects in the 80s was phenomenal for the time. It was very creative. They had a box. A lot of these movies had shoestring budgets, and they got the effects to work. I mean, Blade Runner is sort of a masterpiece in a lot of respects, and they did it by compositing, by overlaying layers and layers and layers onto effects. And recording like little tiny miniatures and putting little recording fire shots far away and overlaying them, and that's why a lot of those scenes are so grainy, because it's just layers and layers and layers of compositing effects. It's insane. Olin says I rewatched Dune in last December just to see if it would change my mind. Nope, still like it very much. It's not like the film doesn't have any problems. I still like it, of course. I mean, we all know that there's no such thing as a perfect film that I could say. I don't think there's such thing. I mean, I'm a fan of, obviously, of the new DC movies. I know they're not perfect. I know like they have a lot of shortcomings, but they're kind of fun for me. So it's sort of really, if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, whatever. But it seems like a lot of the people that don't like it are a lot more louder about their hatred for things than the people that actually do like it, which is ultimately the issue, I think. I keep looking at the title of this video, and it says Twin Peaks 28th. That's insane. Let me know. Never mind. I was gonna say let me know how old you were when you first watched Twin Peaks, but I think that would out a lot of people, and I know I don't want to stir up any anxiety here. Don't need any help with that in this day and age. Katrina says I would be projecting all sorts of time travel stuff onto young big hair Dale Cooper. That's funny. I feel like Twin Peaks effects were okay. Season 3 effects are obviously phenomenal. The special effects in the original series are a little shoddy at times, but they got away. It's so cool. They got away with so much by just doing sort of just practical effects, like in the Red Room. It's so bizarre. The Red Room. Even watching it today, and watching it hundreds of times now, watching those scenes and seeing how atmospheric and strange and uncomfortable it is to watch those scenes still. And there's not really any special effects. Lynch was basically like, all right, we don't have a big budget here, so what can we do to make this extra weird? All right, we'll have them talk in reverse, Mark. We'll just record them saying words backwards, and we'll play it forwards, and they'll act it out the same way. And it created, like, it's such a huge, like, impactful thing. It's insane. Anna says, I was 13 when I first watched Twin Peaks. My mother definitely thought I was too young, but I couldn't be stopped. I feel like that's the perfect age to watch Twin Peaks. Right before you hit those teenage years and you start getting all like really introverted. And I don't know if you're an artist at all, but like Twin Peaks really got the motors going in my head, and I started writing a lot when I watched it for the first time. Cucina says, well, I can tell you my daughter got into Twin Peaks and is an even bigger fan than me, but is too busy being a mom of 4 to be online. Fair enough. My mom had 4 too, so I know the struggle. Holden says, I think I was 35 or so when I first watched Twin Peaks. Lights Above says, what was funny about Dune was Universal trying to have kids' toy line based on the movie. That's actually pretty funny because my dad actually had I wanted to say Dale Cooper action figure. I don't actually remember his character's name in Dune. That's crazy. But he actually has the action figure of Kyle's character downstairs somewhere in a box. It's really bizarre whenever I see it. I'm like, oh. Speaking of Kyle action figures, I have the Kyle action figure from when he was in Flintstones, somewhere downstairs. It's really weird. I was tempted to bring it to the signing he did, but I did not, against my better judgment. And it says, haunted my teenage years. Oh yes, I do art, but no, but I write a lot. Yeah, it was super helpful in my writing. Danielle is here. Hello. My Lynch impression. I could do that Lynch impression all day. Paul Atreides. Right. I can't. It's been a while, and I'm trying not to watch the movie again because I bought the book. Gonna try to read the book before I watch the movie again, and hopefully before the next movie comes out, or the new one. Katrina says, I was on a rare night out and my daughter was out at a sleepover. I fired up the VCR at 3 a.m. and watched episode 3 by myself with absolutely zero idea of what was going to happen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am sure you did not get to sleep that day. Yeah, I could do that Lynch impression all the time. My hair is not as long as it should be, so I can't do the swoopy hair thing. It's getting there, but I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend, though. Katrina says she slept with the lights on for a month. Yeah, I'm going to be completely transparent. I'm not somebody who gets freaked out easily, but the first time I watched Twin Peaks, I also slept with the lights on, or I didn't sleep rather, because like home invasion stuff is like always like, that's always freaked. Like I don't care about monsters or gore or anything else. Like somebody getting into your house and like screwing with your stuff and like kind of just appearing in hallways always freaked me out forever since I was a kid. I don't know where that paranoia came from. Maybe I watched Twin Peaks when I was super young and I remember Bob doing, like, I don't know, but like the whole thing where Bob is like hiding in corners. When I watched Fire Walk with Me for the first time and she's opening the door and he's like hiding behind the dresser. Oh my God. I remember my heart pounding out of my chest. Of all the things, like I don't get scared by anything, but like that, just like strangers in your house and like weird, like with the Bob thing, he's like didn't even try to hide. He was just like there on the, like in between the dresser in the most awkward position, which I don't totally understand, but it's bizarre. And it says, hey, for those of you following this, Peggy Lipton just like Cameron Sweet about her being in Queen of Hearts. Oh my God, that would be awesome. Peggy, I wish we had gotten more Norma in season 3, but you know, I wish we had gotten a lot of stuff in season 3. Walton says, I couldn't watch Twin Peaks back in the day for a number of reasons, and I think it was for the best. The network that broadcast the show was used to skip episodes, among the other barbarities. Yeah, that's Cameron told me that in one of the past streams, and I don't believe that's super annoying. I can't even. I remember they used to do that with when I was younger. They used to do that with sort of cartoons too, and cartoons that were serial. Like one came out. Like I don't understand why any show would do that. I know there was a lot of shows that were banned, like episodes of certain shows, like Pokemon. There was episodes that were banned, so all of a sudden you just jump ahead because there was one episode of Pokemon I remember when I was younger where if I don't know if you guys know sort of characters from Pokemon, but the bad guys, Jesse and James, there was one episode where James cross dresses, and he has like a really big chest. So they didn't show that in America in the United States because of that scene. There's like a whole video about like episodes or reasons episodes were cut and never shown. But I remember just like skipping ahead in the story while it played, episode to episode, and being really confused how they got there. And then it wasn't until I was much older and YouTube was on for a couple of years that I found out. It's just really weird. And I'm sure they played around because of the horrific episodes of Twin Peaks. I don't know if that's a reason or if they just didn't care. I'm sure they didn't care. But I could see that being a reason. Katrina says, "Oh, for sure, Twin Peaks can keep a person on edge. I literally had to pause our first introduction to Nido. Those fast cuts and choppy whispering, and I'm like, I can't even do that sound. Like that mechanical. Honestly, guys, I still haven't seen all of the behind the scenes stuff in the Blu-ray of The Return, which I probably should. Maybe tomorrow I'll just marathon it. It would have been cool to go through it today, but I was comatose because I've been trying to go to the gym more and I overdid it, I think. Oh man, we've already been talking for a half hour. Jeez. So I wish there was more Twin Peaks news. Really excited for Queen of Hearts, but Cameron's working on that. Anna says, I went to my parents' house to watch season 3, episode 17 and 18 with my dad, and he got annoyed because I required a 10-minute pause between the two. That was such a weird day. That was a very long day because I don't know if you guys remember, but I did that stream early in the morning. It was like a 3-hour stream early in the morning, and then after that I did like a 3-hour stream with Cameron on his channel, and then it was time to watch the show, and I had some of Kyle's wine that I had bought, and it was such a weird, fun but such a weird day. And I guess yeah, you're right, Anna, magnificent. I just remember being tired but so excited and like full of adrenaline. And then I had this, Kyle's wine, which felt so apropos. And his signature, it was just really surreal watching. That whole day was surreal. My initial reaction video, I have to go back and watch that because nothing, unless they come out with another season, nothing is ever going to feel that way again. I don't know if any other show could trigger that in me. Danielle says she still wants those donuts. We have to get, next time you're in town, we have to go to Montclair Bread Company and get those donuts. They're very good. But I usually wait till fall because they have the apple cider donuts, which are delicious. I would love to do another like all out Twin Peaks video, like super long. I miss doing the long ones, but there really is not. I mean, we could talk ourselves to death about doing all the sort of addressing all the same things we have in so many other videos, but I think keeping them short for now until hopefully the next time we get some new Twin Peaks, then we could go all out again. Everybody could have a good time. And it says, whoever you did the video with said Lynch broke Joey, and I laugh every time. Yeah, that was my friend Harold. He's not as hardcore a fan. as me, but it definitely kind of got to him too. But I didn't know what to think. Um, Wilton says, "I miss that summer yet." It's so weird. It feels like forever ago, but it was only, what is it? It's May now. It was about 8 months ago. Wow. I guess it's almost been a year since season 3 started. And I hope Cameron is right about them just waiting until Emmy season to see if they get the award before sort of announcing a new season or a new movie or something. I really hope. I feel like it's lying in wait. It has to disappear for a little while so it could be exciting again when it comes back. I know so many people are starting to watch Twin Peaks every day still. So the train is still going. It hasn't stopped. People are going to be watching it. I didn't start watching it until, I guess, 5 years ago now, about. So I'm still kind of a baby when it comes to the Twin Peaks world. I've only been in this universe for 5 years. So I haven't had to wait nearly as long as everybody else, but I kind of went in hardcore when I, started down the Lynch rabbit hole. And it says, I remember the first episode of season 3 was on my birthday. That's cool. That's double whammy there. That must have been a really excellent birthday. Best present ever. Yeah, that's an awesome birthday present. Are you kidding? So yeah, I just keep trying to dig up stuff, see what I could find. Even the Reddit has gone a little cold, unfortunately. I know we're pushing through basically until Cameron's movie comes out. Then we'll have so much more to talk about. And me and Danielle are definitely going to try to go up and shoot up there or help Cameron with the shooting, and probably make a video up there of my own, not a fan film, but sort of like a vlog kind of thing, just to show people around and kind of get the ins and outs of the town. Some of it might have to wait till after the movie comes out, but I'll have to talk to Cameron about that. Hopefully we could actually go up. I'm planning on it though. And it says it was my 18th. Everyone wanted me to have a massive party, but nope. I stayed in and watched that. I don't blame you at all. I probably would have done the same thing. Yeah, it always sounds nice to have watch Twin Peaks with people, but when it's the fresh new episode, you just want to concentrate and be in the zone and not have anybody talk or ask questions. You just want to watch and absorb and feel all the feelings, because who knows when the next time you're gonna have that kind of reaction to something again. And it's kind of depressing thinking that we won't get that kind of. They were so right when they called it pure heroin, because it was such a high watching it. Even the slower episodes were just like, what the hell is gonna happen? I want more. And then we got that end, and most of us went into withdrawal and a slight post Twin Peaks depression. Anna says, nah, my mom wanted to sit there with the paper and I was not amused. Oh boy. I just watch. I try to absorb everything I can the first time, and then I'll do my rewatches. I try not to pick it apart from the beginning. I like to do my first watch and then later go back, rewatch, and pull everything apart. The week was like, watch the episode. Katrina says the week was like, watch the episode, 3 hours on Reddit, watch it again, 18 hours checking in again, and figuring out what will be the next full-time job. It really was a full-time job. I mean, for me, watching the episodes, I mean, you guys were here for a lot of, I don't know when some of you guys subscribe to the channel and whatnot, but I started making videos, I guess. I had been making Twin Peaks videos, not consistently, but here and there, 2 years, a little bit before they announced the new season. But I think all of you came maybe a little bit before episode 8, because that was sort of the big one. But it felt like this summer felt like Twin Peaks was a full-time job. It really did. I was streaming for 3 hours. Like before I started doing the streams, I was making the videos, editing them, and then uploading it, writing all the SEO and the descriptions for it. It really ended up being like a full-time job, but it's like the coolest full-time job you could ever have. So I kind of miss it and wish we could do it again, but we'll have to wait and see. Well, it says post Twin Peaks depression, that's real. Yeah, I mean, I feel like still kind of in that phase, especially when I think about it. It's really terrible. It says my only resources beyond the show itself were these live streams. See, that's the thing. That's how me and Cameron got sort of associated, because we had people jumping around all the streams. Even I was jumping around all the streams because I would do mine, and then I'd go see what everybody else is saying, and then I caught Cameron's channel, and then I started commenting on his channel, and everybody was like, "Hey, Joey," like, and then we kind of hooked up that way, and the rest is history. Katrina says, plus I was working and preparing to move across the world, so intense times. I hope everything is a little bit calmer now, before hopefully the next wave of Twin Peaks starts happening. Hopefully by the end of the year we hear something. If not, we're all going to go insane. One says, I never tried to get to Reddit and stuff like that for fear of spoilers and trolls. Yeah, Reddit's a weird place. I mean, a lot of people on the Twin Peaks Reddit are hardcore, but sometimes the theories got a little too far flung even for my taste. And then when the theories got a little too weird, people would start, bad-mouthing the person. And there was a lot of negative energy over there, so I stopped visiting the Reddit thing, because I just sort of like open conversation and not like, no, you're stupid, this is not the way it is. And it kind of, it's like, let people it's Lynch, just let people interpret it whatever they want, whatever satisfies whatever's in their chest, just let them have it. You could think whatever you want. And it says, I started living alone halfway through the series, and I basically stopped doing everything except watching and rewatching the episodes. It is fun. It seems ridiculous, but it is fun rewatching it, and it's almost like your own little art class when it comes to Twin Peaks. Her Bertrands, thanks for popping in. We still have to do another video at some point, for sure. We have to figure out a good time for us to do another video. I kind of want to do a little roundtable, so whoever's up for doing a video sort of discussing whatever, let me know. Walton agrees with the negative vibes thing. Yeah, same. I just wanted to enjoy it. I wanted to it was such a pure and fun time, especially after the beginning of that year beginning of last year was kind of a mess. I don't have to go into it, but we all know it was a mess. So Twin Peaks was just it was a fun, good time, like genuinely good time last year, and I do miss it. Katrina says, watched everything. There was an awesome woman in Sweden who would do excellent reactions. Also, the vlog lady is brilliant. I subscribe to the vlog lady, and there are 2 French guys who are hilarious. Please let me know who they are. I'd love to hook up with some like international Twin Peaks YouTubers or vloggers. Thanks for letting me know the Twitch isn't working. I wonder why. That's strange. I'm going to check that out real quick. Katrina, let me know who the French guys are. Her Bertrand says, I've been slightly off because of life, but I'm getting my ass into Twin Peaks land again. I am too. I feel you. I went through my slump and not talking about it, but I miss it too much, so I had to get back into it. But all right, now I'm kind of lost. Yeah, please let me know who the French guys are. I don't know who the French guys are. Yeah, I just saw the Twitch stream. It's down. I guess the connection got cut off. It's all right. YouTube is the main thing for this kind of stuff anyway. So, Thanks for the heads up, though. I appreciate it. So yeah, I mean, if I can't, the real big thing happening, I guess, with all of us this year is Cameron's movie, which, you know, went through leaps and bounds to get, you know, funded, and now it's happening and full steam ahead. I hope you guys like the trailer. I'm saying it like I had anything, but I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'm really excited to go help him out with that up there. Willen says, I was gobsmacked at knowing that besides the good, sympathetic, and friendly people, that there's still a group of people who go the other way. I really still can't believe it. That's the thing that makes no sense to me. I don't know how you could be a hardcore Twin Peaks fan, but also be a jerk. I feel like that kind of, I don't know. I feel like it doesn't make any sense in my brain, because I feel like Twin Peaks warrants the opposite. It's like, especially just Lynch stuff in general. It's like, you see the people that are in the cast. Most of the people in the cast get along. It's very loving. I mean, it's a show that deals with heavy stuff, but it's like, the message ultimately is like sort of goodness and like doing the right thing and all that stuff. I don't see where people go the other way with that. It's like, there's a level of very, like, people can interpret whatever they want, but I think there's some people who just go the complete wrong way with their interpretations, and it's a little unsettling to me. I don't know how people could go so backwards. Bertrand says, I'm so excited for him and to be able to enjoy his creation. I think we all are. We're so ready for Queen of Hearts. Wilton says, yes, that makes little sense. Twin Peaks is about empathy, creativity, and reflection. There shouldn't be so many jerks. I 100% agree. There's also that dude they did an interview with that was a Nazi with a Twin Peaks tattoo. That did not compute for me. It doesn't make any sense. How are you a Nazi and a David Lynch fan, or a Twin Peaks fan at least? Do you know what Mark Frost, what his stance is? Check out his Twitter and you'll know real quick. It doesn't make any sense to be a Nazi and a Twin Peaks fan. That's such a contradiction. Her Bertrand says, it feels like they like it because it's a thing that people are douchebags. I mean, yeah, it's like Twin Peaks, like, yeah, I love Twin Peaks, the Red Room, yeah, haha, pie, cherry pie, Dale Cooper, David Lynch, yeah, like it's like it could, I guess I could see where some people make it a bro thing, but I think they're missing the freaking point. Katrina says the new French series addicts are the French guys. I'll check them out. Actually, I'll do it now before I forget, because my memory is not what it used to be. Getting old, guys. I'm not that old, but I'm getting old. Let me paste that there. Paste and search. I will give them a little subscribe. Oh, they're doing pretty good. I know some French. I know a little bit of French. I took French for a year in college. The only year I went, actually. Fix your hearts or die. Yes, that too. It doesn't make any sense to me. Danielle says, Garmin Bozia is awesome. Swedish lady who did reaction vids. Loved her doll of the arm. Katrina says, oh, there's a couple of guys from Kentucky as the house besides the video store. If I remember correctly, they were really low-key, but they had good insights. I know I'm not a big channel, but I like supporting people that are kind of starting out and stuff. So thanks for the info. I shall look these people up and see what they're about. Herbert says, I need to check out the Swedish lady because I like when Swedes like Twin Peaks. I bet. Garmin Bozia. I don't think I'm subscribed to Garmin Bozia. There's a lot. Honestly, I don't watch too many Twin Peaks people. Oh, I am subscribed to her. Okay, good. Also, I don't know if anybody's new here, but subscribe if you're new. I know Cameron just hit 3,000, which is awesome. I'm trying to shoot for at least 2,000 before the end of the year. I'd like to pump this channel up a little bit so we could have bigger discussions. Cinema Garmin. I think I'm subscribed to her. It's like sort of a picture of her like with a ball or something. I'm not trying to pimp out my subscriptions, but it does help, guys. Like when people say it helps, it actually does help. Especially, I mean, it's the dream to do this as like a full-time job, but it takes a lot of time and effort to really get this to a place where it could be sort of a real job. House by the Video Store guys are intentionally funny, great Southernish humor, and decent filmmakers themselves. Yeah, I'm gonna check them out. I gave them a sub. Bertrand says, "Hope you guys have an awesome chat tonight. I'm actually so far past bedtime. I'm not getting that much sleep. Yes, please go to sleep. Talk to you soon. Have a good night." And we're probably gonna go off pretty soon anyway. I just wanted to check in with everybody and see how everybody's living, how their lives are. Hopefully, we're in springtime now here in New Jersey, so pretty soon it'll be time to go outside and try to enjoy the weather before summer. The dreaded summer comes over here. And I live between two rivers, so it is extremely humid where I live. And if it gets too hot, you do not want to go outside. It's 2:42 a.m. You should also be in bed. Yes, but I'll end it now, I guess. Thank you guys for watching. I missed you guys. Hopefully we could do another video soon. I'm going to come up with some ideas just for us to sort of have a more focused discussion. So if you guys do have any ideas for things you want to actually discuss, please let me know. If there's like anything that's still bugging you, let me know on Twitter, or you could, when this video is done uploading or whatever, leave the comment there. But I really want to create another I kind of want to make a mini series sort of hitting maybe five or so unanswered, or something that you would like to dive into more on Twin Peaks that you don't really see a lot of people dive into. So please let me know if you have any ideas for that. I'll just think of some on my own. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. I hope everyone is doing well and has a good spring, if it's spring by you. I shall see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much for your support, your love, and love you guys. See you soon. Talk to you soon. Hope everyone has a good week, and shall catch you later. Keep Twin Peaks alive, people. Keep it alive. See you later.